Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, just to give you guys kind of like a recap of what has been going on during this week or whatever happened during the weekend. It was Halloween, so that was pretty fun. I dressed up as Diego, and my girlfriend dressed up as Dora, so that was exciting. I was also supposed to DJ at one of the when I was in college. I was a part of this frat, and I was supposed to actually DJ for it, but unfortunately, the just like the wiring and it just all didn't connect to the board, and I was just kind of and like me being drunk. I was just like, I don't know whether it's me being too drunk or if I just can't, figure this out. Yeah, so this is the second time that's ever happened where I tried to DJ at a party and it just didn't work out, which is kind of sad. Just like kind of left like dumbfounded. Why did I even spend all this time preparing a playlist, preparing what to say at certain times? It was quite upsetting. But I'm over it now because there's always going to be a next time. Um, and after that, I also went to Eleni Im, which kind of going to shows really kind of boost up your how do I say it? Like how motivated you are, and I believe that me going to Eleni Im, seeing him perform, watching him in interviews before, and just seeing him do all that on stage was amazing. It was a great show. Like I had a fun time, and just seeing everything just unfold was just awesome. And sometimes maybe I want to be up there one day. Who knows what will go on like in the rest of this. Why I record these. Like I could probably look back at these and be like, oh, look where I started at first. Look how far I've made now. But yeah, that's just something. This is just something to keep in mind while I'm doing these. Is kind of like a weekly reminder of are you getting your shit together basically. So yeah, big news for me. Not big news, but like you know I've been talking about this EP, and I figured that, well, it's also because of my laziness and, me just not putting in the time to do the right or do the same thing. So there's a couple of things. I made two and a half songs, I would say. Like, there's one song that's completed. It's the marching drum kind of thing. Like, I mentioned all these before, but I tried to come up with chords for this one third song and worked on that for a couple of days, and then I just wasn't feeling with the song. Like I wasn't seeing it evolve in any way, and I just kind of gave. Like to be honest, I shouldn't do this because I don't like doing this, but I just kind of gave up on the track, and that was the third song. So the first song is kind of like that marching band kind of ordeal, and the second song I actually enjoy the most, and I think so instead of releasing an EP, I'm gonna just release that track. The reason why I'm doing this is because I believe that, you know, it was technically only supposed to be three songs, and I essentially tried to work through 4 weeks straight of just doing the same thing over and over again every single week. And it just kind of got really exhausting to a point where I just didn't want to do it, especially with the last track where it was just like I'm getting this block, like this, they call it like a writer's block, but it's the same thing with where your creativity just can't create anymore because you're not motivated enough. And I believe that's what happened to me because that fourth track, or including like the Halloween song, there's technically four songs that were being made, but that last track that I made, I just didn't feel with it. And, I'm going to put a stop to it. Maybe one day I'll come back to it, but, it's just not, it just doesn't have the right sounds for me, or like maybe it's a chord progression or something like that, but I don't know. But that second track I'll definitely keep. Maybe in the future, again, with the fourth track, I'll maybe do something in the future with it. But the third track, I'm definitely going to try to release. Like, that's probably the best track, and it just has this atmosphere to make you feel very light, very vibrant. Um, I don't know what I would call it yet, but for the name of the song, because that's usually the last part. I usually just give it some thing that's going in my life right now, basically. But that's pretty much it. I wanna, because I still want to make edits to the song to make it sound, as professional as it can be. And after that, I want to see if I can join. Now, I read up reviews on this thing called, there's this EDM, there's like this thing called EDMprod.com, and they have this course that's around, I know it's a bit expensive, but it is $200. So, coming out of pocket, I'm working now, and I do manage my money a lot, and I always know where things are going, how much I'm saving, how much I'm spending, etc., etc. Props to Dad for teaching me that. But I honestly think taking classes and really forcing, because if I spend money on a class, I just feel more like I'm more inclined to do it. Essentially, like you basically not lost, but like you basically paid $200 to just take this course, and if you don't finish it, that's a waste of $200. If you don't do any of that, that's a waste of $200, and that's essentially how I felt with that Udemy class. I did learn a lot out of it, and you can definitely see the difference between my first track I released, the second track I tried to experiment with, and this third track, the Welcome to the Freak Show. That one, definitely you can tell a mixing difference, and I believe just putting in the time and just going through it, putting in the time and following tutorials, letting someone teach you how to use certain plugins, use certain effects, I think it's all great, There's only so much you can do with YouTube, I feel, because you sometimes just don't know what you want. It's sometimes that, like, you go to YouTube and you try to make your essentially you try to make your sound out of something, but you can't really use YouTube for that. You have to know how to use your tools before you can actually make some sense out of it, or not make some sense, but use it in your own way. If that makes any sense with you guys, but this is kind of going prolonged. But yeah, I think I might pull the trigger on that. It's just something that I want to get better at personally, and I have seen results with just doing Udemy. So, and I know, and although Udemy is great, I don't think repeating kind of like the same course or repeating like something on Udemy would be good enough, personally, because that class I was talking about, it's like you make like 3 songs out of it as opposed to just one, and it's 3 different songs. So if I find my certain genre that I like, then I could probably experiment with that. But yeah, okay, this is going on for long enough. Thank you guys for watching. I'll update you guys for next week, and I'll catch you guys later.